Welcome to Watts Elementary.
The kids of Mrs. Davis and Mrs. Cordier's class are quite the bunch, and if walls could talk, I have a feeling this room would have a lot to say. Room 206 is filled with 23 little adults, each claiming his or her own unique personality. At first glance, this place seems a little hectic. There are kids everywhere, each left to do his or her own thing. But if you stick around, you'll find Room 206 is a perfectly executed example of ordered, organized chaos. Individuality, creativity, and thinking outside of the box are not only suggested, they're relished. The kids learn and teach each other in the process, communicating with movement, pictures, hand gestures, and other forms of expression that would only be available to them at a Montessori school. Intellectual stimulation occurs through the use of various different hands-on materials and not through the direct instructions of their teachers. Although, when trouble arises, the kids can always count on Mrs. Davis and Mrs. Cordier to lend a helping hand and brainstorm ideas to gain a new perspective on the topic. After just a few days in the classroom, one can begin to see the glue that holds this type of loosely structured learning together. Each student has a workbook complete with a prescribed contract, whose pages hold a learning map, each catered to its owner's own academic needs. The use of these books provides Montessori students independence, freedom within limits, and a will to learn that is fueled internally with curiosity and intrigue. Although the beginning or the end of the workflow might include group activities, a majority of the day children are left to their own devices and given the trust and accountability to complete their works for the day on their own. For some, this means stretching out on the rug and writing, experimenting with volcanoes, or dissecting the life cycle of a pumpkin. For others, it means sitting down with a friend and discussing math problems, or working quietly and just enjoying each other's company. Some even manage to find peace amongst the chaos and settle down by themselves to focus. And, on special days, the work cycle means sharing a laugh or two with the visiting student tutors from Duke. Once a child completes their stipulated works for the day, they find Mrs. Davis with hopes of graduating to the coveted free choice work time. Brain teasers, books, art materials, and play with a number of other interactive learning tools are free to be explored and enjoyed. After all this hard work, of course, it's time for play, and the kids of Mrs. Davis's class definitely don't have any trouble at all letting loose. The kids stick together out here, but their energy inside the classroom is nothing compared to the enthusiasm and youth that seem to resonate from them outside on the playground. After some much-needed free time, the characters of Room 206 enjoy lunchtime, followed by specials. It is places like the playground, the cafeteria, and the specials rooms that the bonds of childhood friendship are formed. Because children are in the same room for 3 consecutive years, the bonds made outside of the classroom solidify and slowly trickle into the walls of Room 206. Students feel comfortable with one another on a much more personal level than is offered to them at a classical elementary learning environment. This trust and understanding of their classmates better equips kids with the confidence and comfort level to help teach their peers. The quiet dichotomy of teaching themselves and being taught by equals is one that fuels Montessori classrooms, and, in my opinion, what keeps free-spirited classrooms level-headed. I've learned a lot in my short time spent at Watts Elementary, and I've come to realize that there is no better garden for mental growth and maturation of children than in a Montessori school.